guess I can text my guest now and say, okay, you can show up. Because listen, my team finally starting to show up. Hey guys. All right. So excited. I'm not even going to delay no time because we're already starting late. I got a special guest for you guys tonight. And it's crazy because like as I'm introducing this guest, if you got to guess who it is, drop it in the comments. You ain't gonna be right, but if you got to guess, drop it in the comments. But this guest, the reason why I decided that today would be a great day to do this is because of her longevity in the business. And most do not know her full story. Okay, longevity, and most don't know her full story. And because of that, with her success and her constant success and her constant grit and determination, her consistency at this point in her business and how it's going to catapult her, and it's already starting to catapult her to the next level, I just know your hearts will be encouraged and there will be so much that you guys will be able. Oh, you think it's from the squad? Okay. Y'all think it's from the okay, y'all think it's in-house. There will be so much that you will be able to learn from this person. So shout out to everybody who participated. How about this? Are you guys awake tonight? If you have your hands available, because I know some people, like one person washing their daughter's hair. So shout out to you for still showing up and listening. But if you're here tonight, just drop a 1 in the comments so we can see if we got if we're functioning tonight. How many people we got functioning? All right, we want you guys to participate. Talk to the guests. If you feel it, amen. Say amen. Like interact if you can. If you're not, but I mean, like sometimes we cooking dinner and I listen to Zooms and I can still grab my phone and, give a little amen or that was so good, So we in church tonight, okay? We like response and call, okay? So I'm going to bring on our guest for tonight is, drum roll. Is she even on? She's on. Welcome, guys. It's my friend Robyn. And the crowd goes wild. Welcome. You should be able to unmute. So if you guys don't know this, Robyn just recently promoted from Emerald. She got the $5,000 bonus, then promoted to Diamond not the month after, but the following month after that. Went Diamond with more than enough volume to actually reload Diamond. And so I'm just excited. Earned herself a $10,000 bonus and is not stopping there. So willing and open to grow and learn. And I'm going to tell you guys just a little background. This is actually my sorority sister. I am the ace of my line, and this is my rock or my anchor, right? So she's the end of the line. I'm the beginning of the line. Now, I ain't gonna tell you, that just mean I line and say, shout out to Toya, who in the middle, holding it down. But, anyways. So yeah, when you have relationships like this is also my maid of honor. She's my maid of honor in my weddings, one of my best friends. And so what did I do when I first signed up? Y'all, I invited her to come into this business. I did. I invited her. I don't even remember how I invited her, but I invited her to come be a part of initially to be a part of the products. But then it was like, no, I realized in this business that it was better for people to be distributors. And so I wanted everybody to be a distributor, like everybody, each person who I actively prospected, they have a very unique story of how I prospected them. But I prospected her to be a part of this business, and she joined and was kind of doing a little something, but I'm going to let her tell that. But being in the midst of, do not disturb, being in the midst of a relationship with someone and having grace to still love them where they are. This is a word for somebody. I'm serious, because when she tells you how long she's been here, you'll be like, what? Like that can't be right. I had the grace to love her where she was. She was my maid of honor. She watched me pay for my wedding dress in cash. Like she watched it. She watched me have bills come up in the midst of the wedding and having to figure out and make the money in order to pay for my wedding. She watched me start making 5 figures a month. She watched me, like she was there every step of the way. She watched me. Yeah, I was so extra. It's okay. I'm still extra. I wanted this extra baby shower. Okay. Like it was over the top. And they look like, who can pay for that? And remember, I'm like, got a condo on my wrist, girl. We fitting the bill, just hold it down. Like we did the most. Like the cake was over the top. We was at the top of it was nice. Don't get me wrong, it was nice. But we were so extra. And she watched me do these things. She watched it time after time after the cars, the house, all the things. I remember sitting in the car with her, just best friend, like, yo, like these are the plans to my house, and just getting emotional, like, oh, my friend. But it never clicked for her, like, boo, this can be you too. Even though I was still inviting her to the table, she went to conferences, all these things. So just be patient and gentle with the people who are still showing up, even if they are not flourishing like you want them to flourish. Because when it's their time, it's their time. Everybody can always sit at the table until they're ready to eat. That does not mean that I'm force feeding her to eat. I did not force feed her to eat. But when she showed up, the meal was there. When she showed up, the meal was there. And as long as the meal is there, because I'm still preparing food, when she's ready to eat, she'll eat. So welcome, Chef. That's my side of the story. So I'm going to let you share. I really want you to go back to before you started, why you said yes. And then let's kind of go through just up to when you went Ruby, and then we'll kind of dive into that period after you went Ruby.
Okay. Hey, y'all. So before I started, I was a workaholic. Sometimes I had 2 jobs doing hair on the side. So I just worked. That's all I did. Retail manager, had a bunch of people under me as far as management roles. I just worked all the time because that's what I needed to do to pay my bills. So Rachel in 2013, she asked me she said she was doing starting her business. And she said, come on, get some products. Okay. Y'all know how Rachel is. If you have it, you'll learn. She was like, get some products, I'm doing this business. I'm like, okay, I'm trying to get healthy, not back healthy. I'm trying to get healthy. So I started with the products, greens, fell in love with the greens, berry at the time. And then she was just like, you might as well, start making some money. So I'm like, cool. I love to hustle. I love the side money. So I jumped in. I was like, okay. And I was working, got to Ruby for the first time. And then after that, I still was working a little bit, and then I kind of fell off. I was still around. Like she said, I was still around. But it was just a hobby for me. And I'll be honest, it's just a hobby for me. Anybody be honest and say you had the job, and then you got your business, and your business is a hobby right now. Drop a 1 in the comments if y'all gonna be honest. Like, just drop 1. So it was a hobby for me. I was still, working full-time at my job, and I never ever stopped using the products, y'all. Results, always getting results, always getting transformations. Like, products are bomb, right? Never stop the products. But the business side, I was like, oh, it's nice. Rachel blowing up, like she said, count on the wrist, like everything, like blueprints of the house, like, baby shower, wedding, all of that. And I'm seeing it like, oh my God, that's so good. I'm so proud of you. Like, amazing. Like, her biggest cheerleader. Like, that's yes. Okay. I believe in you. So proud. And I still use the products. I was still a distributor in eSuite, but I just used the products. Okay, I'm just going to be honest, for years. And this happened for years. And it wasn't until conference 22. Now, that wasn't my first conference. I had been to maybe 3 conferences before then. But in 2020, I went to the conference, and I was just like, okay. I had that moment where it was like, enough is enough. Either God is allowing this business to stay in your life for a reason. Like, it's not just here just because it looks good. It's here for a reason. And you keep asking the Lord for a way out of this situation where you're just working, underpaid, overstressed, and you're just settling for it. Like, what are you gonna do? And so at the brink of a pandemic, March 2020, I wrote my resignation letter for the 3rd time and turned it into my manager and told him I would be quitting the job and going full-time in my business. And so in March 2020, I went full-time in my business. May last year, 2020, I reloaded my Ruby, And then it was January I went emerald, and then last month I went diamond. So here we are.
So we got to
And
talk about this journey. Wait, what do you want to say? Go ahead. What you want to say?
and I declared it before, and it's giving me chills saying it, but Ambassador 2021, December 31st, okay? Because I know I serve a great God. His track record is impeccable. Like, it's amazing. Like, I'm excited, y'all. I'm excited. So, yes.
So here's the thing.
You got
Someone
a
said
question?
that you quit and you went Ruby. So she was already a Ruby, but she reloaded Ruby. So here's, I mean, it's in all honesty, she wasn't enrolling. So if you can't enroll and you're just using the product, of course, you're not going to reload because you don't necessarily have a team. And so let's talk about, because I know the story, but let's talk about the faith it took to quit the job and how you know you, because everybody can't do this. But you know you, and you knew that this business was never going to get all of you unless you did what you and God talked about. And so kind of talk about that, because I know, like, I mean, let's just be honest. Drop a 1 in the comments if you want to quit your job. Everybody, like, I wanted to quit my job. I wanted, but I got fired. God had to push me out. I didn't do a resignation. God, I just got fired. So I was like, all right, well, I'm fired. So let's just do this business full time. I wanted to, but I had my quitting point, but God said it was before then. And I guess if we can kind of have some dialogue, depending on what you decide to share, we could just be honest about the season from quitting to the success. Yeah. Because can we just be real about that space in between? Because it's kind of like what we talked about last night on the Diamond Call. That little space in between what you expect to happen. I'm gonna quit my job and I'm about to be lit. Like, I'm gonna be rich. Like, I got all day to work this business. It's gonna be popping. So kind of take us through that journey of quitting before you even reloaded Ruby, because most people don't do that, and then getting to where you are now and going through the process and the journey and the time frame, because that was from you quit in March, and it wasn't until what, March, February,
a year later.
What are we in?
We're in May.
April that you went diamond. So that's almost a year later.
It is a year. Yeah, a little bit over a year. So the decision to quit, for me, I had been really dealing with it, like I said, from conference. So I always wanted to quit my job. I hated it. So to be honest, I always wanted to quit, but I kept praying about it. I was filling out applications and I was like, okay, something else gonna come, and I was getting rejected. Like, I was even texting and calling my mom, like, this is crazy. I have a bachelor's in psychology. I have 18 years of experience as a manager and all this, and I am getting rejected everywhere that I go. I said, this does not make sense. I even told Rachel, I was like, this, like, this don't make sense. And so I was just praying and praying. And then the day that I wrote my letter for the third time, because I wrote it, and then I was like, no, because I was always in the mind frame is I have to have something before I quit a job. I gotta have another job. Like, that's always been my case. I've never just quit a job. Okay, like, it's just what you just don't do, right? So I always so I wrote my letter, then I wrote it again, changed the date, wrote it again. So the last time, I'll never forget, it was 6 a.m. My shift, and I was in the office. I'm always in the office by myself doing one report, scheduling stuff like that. And I was watching my pastor Keon, and he was like, God has told you to quit that job. And I was like, he's told you to quit the job, and you're still sitting there, like, you're still going through the motions, and yet you're asking for him to show up, and you're talking about faith. And I was like, wow. I just started crying in the office. I just started crying, and I was like, okay, I'm writing this letter. God, I know you're a gap filler. You're gonna do this thing. This is my chance to be like, you are who I say you are, right? And so I'm just gonna do it. I didn't tell, like, I've maybe told a handful of people, if that, because I also knew that you don't tell you don't tell, first of all, you don't tell your dreams to people that have nightmares, okay? That only have nightmares. You don't do that. But you also don't tell your dreams and your visions to people because the God didn't give it to them. He gave it to you. So it's like, I'm gonna be honest, I couldn't tell my dad that I was quitting my job with no real job, in plan B, because he would have told me I was crazy and talked me out of it. So, and he doesn't know the Lord like I know the Lord, and he, how he works. And so I was like, no, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna quit, right? So then going into the expectation, I'm like, look, I'm gonna go all in. I'm gonna go all in. I work hard. Hey, I get this job 60 hours overworked. I'm in here 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Sometimes got to come back 3 p.m. to 3:30 a.m. I'm here. I can do this. Like I got this in the bag, diamond next month, And so what happened was my expectation was really high, but the reality of having a job and an entrepreneur full time, I had to understand it, what it took. And it was mental work that I had to do. It was a lot of personal development that I hadn't been really doing that really caused me to go like a whole nother level. So when I say going from March and I quitting my job to now May, it's been mental work, it's been spiritual work, it's been having times where it's like, and I told the Lord I'd be very vulnerable because he dealt with me today, and somebody really needs to hear this. So I've had times where I didn't know where my rent money was going to come from. I had times where my car note was late, had to push it to the back. I had those times, but I said, I am choosing to trust God. I am choosing to have faith that I said that my God will provide for me. So I have to keep moving. I cannot give up. Somebody is depending on me to win. Like I cannot. And so I had to keep going. And it's just so many people have been like coming in my inbox saying, what, I've started working out because I seen your live, or I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And I'm like, wow. And it's people that are younger than me, people that are more mature. Like so many people are watching me. And I was like, I have to keep going because it's bigger than me. Right. Like, yeah.
So it's crazy because I mean, and this is true entrepreneurship. And so that I love that you share this, because most people, I mean, granted, actually everybody has the season. I don't know anybody who doesn't have the season. If they don't, it's only because they're not willing to share it. Because I was going to say my husband, when he came home, I mean, we were on the mountaintop, but even in the midst of his true entrepreneurship, we've seen the valley. But when I remember when I first went through my first time, I mean, where I quit the job and I decided, well, I didn't quit, I got fired. And I decided I wasn't going back. In that moment, I had to make up my mind, because if my mind really wasn't made up, when adversity hit me, I would be back looking for somebody's job, which would actually distract me from what God was truly trying to do here. And it works, right? So it was to the point where, like we talked about, I was picking up extra heads. Like it was like, I got to come up with this extra money. Like I have to fill the gap. And so he was providing things as long as I was not allowing it to be a distraction. My business was still on 10. I was still doing 4 or 5 parties a weekend. Like he's selling $100 bags of wraps or boxes of wraps back then, And so I had to trust him. But because I trusted him for that season, because remember, I was getting married. I got fired from my job, and like I was getting, is that right? I don't even remember. Do you remember? I don't remember. But I had to trust him from the point of there to making the $20,000 a month. Like I had to trust him in between there. And it was like, if you can't trust me in between here, why should I ever reward you with something that great? You know, will you really appreciate something that great if you never experienced the true struggle? And so now, like the appreciation is very real. So thank you for sharing that, your heart, because that's real. Like that is real and raw. And if people won't share that, they're lying. Most people will not make it through that journey. That's when they start looking for jobs, or they say, oh, this is not my passion anyway, or maybe this wasn't meant for me. They're not willing to go through that journey, especially when you have to go internal. You have to start looking at yourself, right? So kind of talk about that. And then we're going to get into this mass enrollment, right? This consistency. But talk about the going inside. And I would even say going inside and leading while you follow. So really going inside and leading while you follow. Tell us more about that. And maybe at the end of that, because I'm just gonna let you talk, give a tip to the person who knows they need to go in so they can go up.
Yeah. And I was gonna add to that part, those pieces where I didn't know, you know, where this is coming from, how this is going, how this is gonna happen, how this is gonna be paid. The mistake I made was telling people that weren't connected in a level that I was connected to God, or I desired to be connected to him. Because then I had people, can I be honest? I had people tell me to fill out unemployment, and God never told me to do that. But I did it out of fear. And when I did it, I got rejected. Because that's not God. He said, I didn't tell you to fill out unemployment. I didn't tell you that's how I was going to provide. I'm going to provide. You have faith for me to do it for you. So stay in the course. And I was like, okay, God, okay. And then all this time with my coins, okay, I kept hearing tithe. And I'm just like, Lord, like I'm barely doing this, but you said tithe. Okay, let me go ahead and get this dollar. Let me go ahead and get whatever it is, you know, tithe. And it all it came full circle, because it's like, if I can trust you with a little, I know I'll be able to bless you with a lot, and you'll still give it back. So it's just, everything works together. And so me knowing that, knowing all that, going through all that, I knew I had to develop my relationship with God. Like I knew I had to. I was like, these attacks, and it wasn't just physical, financial, it was also spiritual. I said, these attacks are real. My spiritual development is a non-negotiable. Like I have to be poured into. I have to know the Lord for myself. I can't depend on my upbringing when I was all in the church and you know, in the choir, and I'm present, but I have to have my relationship with him. Like, because these attacks, I cannot do it. Like I am not going to make it. So it literally took me being like, hey, you know, sit down, read, you know, get an understanding, okay, for yourself, and really just diving in and showing up, you know, staying connected with the team, staying connected to Rachel, and really understanding that the same God that did it for Rachel, that did it for Brittany, that did it for Toya, that did it for everybody, can do it for me. You know, he will do it for me, but it's going to be in his timing, not mine. Just because I expect him to do it today, don't mean he's going to do it today. So just really understanding that too, it just changed everything for me.
So give a tip. So what tip would you give to somebody who's like, okay, I need to get my life together because every other day I want to quit? What advice would you give? Or every other day I quit? Because most people, if you can be honest, you do quit. You don't necessarily quit per se, but you stop working, or you don't post, or you don't message. You're not doing the things. Like, what advice would you give to somebody who's like, okay, I'm serious, I really want this business to work for me, and I trust God's timing? What tip would you give to them?
You have to do the personal development. Because for me, I read Girl Wash Your Face, and she was talking about combating the lies that you tell yourself, and then also quitting on yourself. Like, stop quitting. Make a promise to yourself and hold yourself accountable. If you say you want something and you quit, then you don't want it. So understanding what it is that you really want, and you're not going to do that unless you really develop personally. Like, there was so many things in this season that was brought up that I didn't even think was still an issue, like roots, roots from childhood, roots from like old relationship. I'm like, what is this? Like, just things that will come up, and you have to deal with that things, because to much is given, much is required. So if you're asking God to lead these thousands of people, and that might not be your thing, but for me, thousands of people, I have to be whole. I can't be, jacked up trying to help people change their lives. So it's like, you have to be willing to be broken for him to put you back together again. And just understanding that. Be willing, be open to the breaking. Be open to the crushing, as TD Jakes said.
And that's a good book too. I don't know. Have you read that one, Crushing?
No, but I watched the
Yeah.
the thing he does with
That is a good one.
Verdict.
Yes. So okay, so guys, like, okay, so she's about to come up on her 8th year with it work. So I am, and so is she, because
Yes.
she was one of the first people who started with me. So she's actually coming up on 8 years, right along with Miss Wiggum. What's your month? What month did you sign?
August.
So I signed in June. Brianna signed in July. She signed in August. That's how legit this is. So she's been down for years, like a long time. So let's talk about truly grasping what it is that we do, the consistency that was needed, and implementation of the strategy.
For me, I had to understand that I was a farmer. I know that sounds like what? Like, that's so simple, but really, I had to understand that I was a farmer. Like, and farmers are consistent. They plant, right? And so I had to do the PMF every day, SDPD PMF every day. I'm planting seeds. Do you get tired like farmers do in the hot? It's like, yeah, but you still plant because you want the harvest. So when the harvest comes, listen, it comes. Like, it just, you have to put your mindset in it, that it's not a microwave business. It's not. You're not gonna put it in. You're not gonna talk to people and they're gonna sign right away. Like, sometimes they will, thank God, but for the most part they don't. So you have to be consistent in doing that, the posting, the messaging, the follow-up, because even days when I think, nobody's watching my video, or nobody liked my post, nobody did this, somebody will inbox me and say, hey, what's that you put on your wall? Nobody liked it or nobody commented, but they sent it to my inbox. So you have to be consistent, because a lot of times, I was telling my DT today, a lot of people are trying to see if you're serious. So you have to be serious about your business, because they're like, okay, if you posted it on Monday and you don't post again ever again, why would I buy from you? And so I was like, I have to show up, not just in the meetings, but on my wall, in my story. So I'm consistently I'm somewhere. Okay. Like, my business is always open, because I'm taking it seriously. Like, I have to have seed in the ground. I have to have seed in the ground. If you don't have seed in the ground, nothing will grow. And again, with the expectation versus reality, you talk to 10 people, you can't expect 30 customers. That don't make sense. So you have to talk to more people to get more exposure. It's simple. But just being consistent, like showing up is the biggest part. Like, I've always heard that, but showing up when you're in those rooms, when you're in these Zooms, and you hear people, you hear the stories, you hear the motivation, you get inspired. Like, when you're around people that genuinely care for you and don't know you, and you come from a atmosphere where that's just not even a thing, it changes you. It changes your heart. It changes your want to do better. Like it completely changes you. Like if I didn't show up to things, I wouldn't be sitting here right now. I can truly say that because I know the heart of the company, but I know the heart of the team. And so I've connected to that. So, and it's not just because Rachel's my ship, it's because her leadership is impeccable. Like she really cares, like legit cares. So, just showing up and being consistent is the biggest thing.
That's so good. Thank you. But I do care. I really do care. And I'll tell you, one of the biggest things that I've realized about you is you do a very good job of declaring what you desire. And I think it took you a little while to start to declare what you desire. And I don't know, I don't want to name that for you. You can tell us what that was. That was really kind of muting you from starting to speak life over your business because you wanted to see it right away. But when you started to declare things, eventually it began to manifest because your actions went in alignment with your words. And then as a result, you would walk in what you were saying was going to happen.
I would say two things: worth, and then questioning my ability. And I struggle with worth, like just on a personal level, just worth. Are you worth this, worth that, and dealing with shame and so many things that the enemy tells you that you're not worth it, you don't deserve it, you don't, you're not qualified for it. But God, the personal development, the spiritual development showed me that I am, showed me that, I'm perfectly made through him, imperfectly perfect, and uniquely made through him. And he can do great things through me, and he will do great things through me. So just that development alone let me know, like, I can do this. Why not me? Like he gives you a whole different swag. Like it's just like, why not me? I could do this. I've been going to open houses on Wednesday, looking at houses. Like, why not me? He could do, yeah. I don't care what my bank account look like right now. Why not me? I'm gonna get a house. So just he's given me the confidence. He's given me that. And then speaking it, I think it was me questioning my ability and understanding that just because it's something new in a sense doesn't mean that I can't learn and master that too. Because for me, customer service, I could do that with my eyes closed. Management, leading teams, like I could do that with my eyes closed. That's easy. HR, that's easy for me. But now I have to manage and lead people to change their lives. It's a little bit more weight on that. It's a lot more, it's a lot more weight to that, and it's different. And so I think me understanding it's different, but I can apply the same skill to it really changed it for me. It's like, okay, it's different, but you know how to communicate effectively. You know how to deliver favorable results. You know how to manage execution. Like, how to do these things and help people do them. So just do it. Like, it was just.
So let's hint on real quick, being afraid of the beast. If you are a red, drop red in the comments if red is your primary or secondary color. If red is your primary or secondary color, drop red in the comments. If it's your primary, listen. If it's your primary, drop a 1 in the comments. Okay. Here's the thing. Actually, I think you know what I'm going to say. So there is a time, and every red knows this if you've been there or if you've overcame it. Because if you haven't overcome it, you're still like, you're going to relate to this, but we're going to invite you to have your moment and actually work through this with your upline. But reds can be afraid of the beast. Okay. Because you're either afraid of it or you do too much and you just run everybody off. And then because you ran everybody off, then you're afraid of it, right? So it reinforces being afraid of the beast. And then you become timid and you're no longer walking in the gift of being red. And so, or having that you're not being red, but having those characteristics as your primary. And so let's talk about you being afraid of the beast and deciding to tame the beast with your heart and implementing the beast to truly help people change their life?
I think I'm red green. And for me, it came from my previous employment. Like, I was always told that I can be very, very direct. Like, I need to change the way I talk, tailor the message. I need to, it was ingrained in me that I needed to scale back. So knowing that I was red was not like a, ooh, like, oh, you're red. No, I always knew that. Even with like game nights, I'm very competitive. Like, I'm like, I gotta win, like it's real serious. And so, coming into the business full time, I wanted to make sure that I wasn't being so red that I wasn't connecting out and I wasn't helping people the way that I needed to help people. But in that, I wasn't being successful in my eyes. I wasn't. And Rachel kept telling me, you could trust your bees. Trust your bees. If I could trust mine, you could trust yours. And I'm like, okay, And honestly, it wasn't until January. And I was like, okay, let a little bit out. Let me see how this go, And then I think it really was last month when I was just like, look, enough is enough. Enough is enough. Like, go trust yourself. You can do that. Like, I literally had to talk to myself. Like, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing? Like, this, exactly what to do. Get it done. Like, don't look over here. Don't look over there. Just stay focused and get it done. Like, and literally, that's where I was. Like,
That's so good, because I think a lot of times what people don't realize is that when we come in and we do this personal and spiritual development, it transforms you. The reason Rachel can trust her beast is because she's not the person she was 8 years ago. Could Rachel 8 years ago trust her beast? No, but she didn't care, and it got her the presidential diamond. Like, I'm gonna like straight up, she cared, but she didn't care. She didn't know how to care. Maybe let's just say that she didn't know how to care. Okay, but when I learned how to care, if your heart is right, and especially if you're somebody who is working on your spiritual relationship, the Holy Ghost is real, and so you'll get a tap. Like, no, don't say that. Okay, no, that's too much. Is that personal? That's not to help them. That's for you to get something off your chest. Like, you'll get the tap on your shoulder. Like, you'll have the true heart check to know when are you in your feelings? And if you're having communication with your mentor, because I've had many conversations like, that sounds a little personal. Like, that doesn't sound like you want to help the person. It sounds like you're in your feelings. You probably should go journal. Like, that's the whole point of having a soundboard and really learning yourself, because is that what we do in old age? You come here and you actually get to learn yourself. Drop a 1 in the comments if you are learning yourself for the first time. That's me. Okay. Do you feel like this business has made you learn yourself? And as you start to learn yourself, you can actually help other people because you know you.
Absolutely. Like, I tell people all the time, I'm not the same person I was last year. I'm not the same person I was years ago. Like, I'm not. So and it wasn't because I was made to do spiritual development or made to do personal development. It was the actual yearning to know God more and the wanting to be better. Like, I want to be better. Like, I don't want to be in this space anymore. And I think that's what it is when it comes down to it. It's a choice. Yes. It's like, I want all these things, but what am I willing to change to get to them? Like, how can he use me in the space that I'm in now? He can't.
That's good.
So I have to grow and I have to do more and I have to know him more, because there's going to be people that come to me that might be broken and need me to pray.
That's so good. So, okay, drop a 2 in the comments if you are aspiring to go on your own weight loss journey. Drop a 2 in the comments. Do we have anybody here that is aspiring to go on your own weight loss journey. So here's the thing. I don't know. I think Robyn said this. I don't know if she said in the beginning, but Robyn has lost almost, I think it's over 100 pounds, right? Yeah. Over 100 pounds with using these products. I remember when she was my customer distributor, and she would get these results from TFXX, and I was like, yeah, the TFX works. I don't use it, but I got somebody who is bomb on TFXX. So talk about being committed, because here's the thing, Robyn was committed. It wasn't me, because she wasn't my customer. And so we would talk about it. She would ask me questions, like when she was intrigued about different products, but it was her. She went and found the regimen that worked best for her body. And so talk about that journey, and then truly being committed to getting that 100 pounds off, and what these products played as a part. And then give the people tips, like people who say they really want to be a part of this weight loss journey, help them, give them 2 or 3 tips on how to truly hone in and allow these products to be that catalyst that helps them really catapult their weight loss journey to the next level.
Yeah, so weight loss is mental. A lot of people don't understand that. I've battled with being overweight my whole life, like all the time. Like I was always the heavier cheerleader, the heavier softball player, the heavier everything. So with me, it wasn't until, again, I go to the choice, the decision, I decided in 2013 to even try a product to do something better, right? And then it wasn't until 2018, I'll never forget, because we were in Dallas at was it a conference or training or something like that, and we had just came out with keto coffee, and I said, I don't drink coffee. She was like, I don't drink coffee. Coffee is nasty. Like, I'm not, no. And you were like, just try it. And I'm like, all right. And I'm like, oh, we got chocolate greens. We're going to put it together, make it work. Because for me, even I used to get migraines, and the migraines, everybody say drink coffee. I'm like, I'm not. I'd rather have my migraine. That's how bad I just did not want coffee. So when I put the chocolate in the keto coffee, I was like, this is it. This is it. And I was like, I have to move my body. I've never had a problem with working out. So that was another thing for me, deciding to move my body. I knew that I had to work out along with the products to get the results. And I said, I'm going to stick to it. Like, this is for me. It's not for anybody else. That's another thing. A tip is do it for yourself and not for anybody else. Don't do it for the gram. Don't do it for Facebook. Do it for yourself. Because when you do it for yourself, you're going to, 9 times out of 10, you're going to hold yourself a little bit more accountable, because you have to look at you in the mirror when you get out the shower and all that. Like, it's you and you. So that's what, for me, it was like, okay, let's do this. And when I decided in 2018, like, I'm doing keto, strict keto, doing my keto coffee, my chocolate greens, my Thermophyte X, and I think it was one other product that I was really consistent on. The greens, of course, the greens, keto coffee, Thermophyte X, and of course I, put some other stuff in there every now and then with the cleanse and the probiotic. But I was consistent with that. And in 6 months, I was already down like 56 pounds in 6 months, because I said I was doing it. Now, after that, I maintained within, I might have gained like maybe 10, 15 pounds, but because I still use the products. I stopped keto, but I still use the products. And then I kept using the products. Like I said, I was always a product of the product, like always, because they always give me great results. Like, even if I didn't work out, even if I didn't have a really strict regimen, it kept me healthy. Like, I didn't have to go to the doctor. I didn't, have like high blood pressure and stuff like that, like all the things, right? And so I would just say, number one, get your mind in a position to where you're going to be like, I'm going to do this for me, and that's it. Like, I'm doing this. This is one thing that I will not waver on. It's a non-negotiable. This is a goal. This is a personal goal for me. Like, it's personal. Like, it has to be personal. If it's not personal, it's not going to stick. You're going to give it up. You're going to be like, no, I don't want to do this. But if you're really serious and you're like, look, I'm tired of seeing this, or I don't want to look like this no more, not for anybody else, but for me, when I look in the mirror and I want to love what I see, then you're going to stick with it. Then you're going to stick with it. And for me, like keto now, like I was just saying, I'm going back into keto because keto actually made me feel the best of where I was, like as far as just, sleep quality, energy, all of that. But everybody's not the same. You have to find what works for you. If you feel like you're depriving yourself of something, 9 times out of 10, you're going to relapse. Like you're going to be like, oh, but don't. Another thing is, if you mess up, every day can be day one. So just start again. Just start again. And just don't stop until you get to where you want to be. Like people see me all the time alive. I'm like, okay, day one. I didn't have about 15 day ones, but I'm still here. I'm still going. They know I'm very real with my journey. If I do anything off course, I'm like, y'all, I have Portillo's, but I got my fat fighters. So I'm covered, but they love that, and they laugh with me and they understand that I'm real. So just, it's mental. So you got to do the mental work and understand that it's a journey. There's going to be some ups and some downs, and then just decide and stick with your decision, and make it for you.
Thank you. So that is good, because I just think about every snapback I've had. The pictures were for me. Like it was for me. Why does Rachel take pictures so often? So I can see my progress. And if people don't, I don't care about none. I do it for me. I do it for me. I want to look good. I want to see the cellulite go away. I'm tired of this belly. I'm the one who put on 50, 60 pounds during pregnancy. So it's like, this gotta go right now. And then I'm excited because I get customers along the way. And me sharing my story out loud, and then I see other stomachs, I'd be like, oh my God, I would talk about my stomach. Like, she brave enough to share her stomach. I need to share my stomach. I need to be in a crop top. Okay, listen.
Yes.
Anyways, so and follow people who inspire you, not people who got plastic surgery that you're not finna get. Like, it's really what you're feeding yourself to that's important. All right, Robyn. So
somebody asked me that too
about if you got plastic surgery.
Mm-hmm. Wow, somebody asked me if I had surgery.
Compliment.
And I was like, no, because I showed them my before picture and my after, and they was like, wow, did you have surgery? I said, no, I use my product and I work.
That's crazy. Congratulations on that, because that's awesome too. All right, so here's the thing. Anyway, if you have a comment, and if you got a comment, drop it in the comments. But I want you to tell somebody right now who's made a decision. They're going to make a decision tonight. I'm going diamond. I'm going diamond and above. I'm going ambassador. Like, I'm here for it. What is the number one tip that you would give that person today?
I would say, I'm thinking about me and like how I had to tell myself, if you say I'm going diamond, say I'm going diamond no matter what.
That's good.
No matter what. If your team isn't showing up, if you don't get 10 hosts to post up a day, you still have to declare, I'm going diamond. I'm going diamond. Like, I'm going ambassador. Doesn't mean it's going to be today, but I'm going. So I'm going to work like I'm going.
That's it.
If you work like you're going diamond, it's going to happen. So you literally have to walk into it, like run into it. Okay. But don't run to, be careful, but run, into it. Like, it has to be a non-negotiable. Like for me, like it was so crazy because I said it on a Sunday power hour last month. I said, I'm going diamond. I don't care if, I was like, at this point, I don't care if I got to get 30 customers. It's happening. And I got 30 customers. I said, oh, okay. But I was like, it's got to happen. You have to put it in your mind that it's happening and keep saying that thing. It don't matter if you wake up and it's eat sweetest to return. It don't matter. I'm going diamond.
Yes.
Lord, I don't know where it's coming from. I don't know how you're going to do it, but I'm going diamond.
That's good. And insert whatever rank it is that you want to go.
Ruby, executive. you know?
Yeah. So new distributors, who got new in the house? If you are within your first 30 days, drop a 1 in the comments. If you are within your first 30 days, drop a 1 in the comments. What would you tell a new distributor who just signed? What is the number one tip? Like if you could only give them one tip, and one tip, that's it. That's all you could give them, one tip. What is something that you would absolutely want them to know? Like they need to take this away from the call.
Only one?
Only one. Only one.
Use the newbie cheat sheet. Because there's a bunch of stuff in there. Use the newbie cheat sheet. And
okay, give another one.
Stay connected to your upline. You can do this. You can so do this. Like you can so do this. We are here to help you. You can do this. Like y'all have all the tools. Literally everything is there. It's so simple, and you think you got to do more. We was talking about this earlier, but you can do this. You can do this. Like you can do it.
Like, we got one question, and then we're gonna get off of here. I think one. If I missed somebody's question, I'm sorry. All right. So, how do you get your motivation back after you lose all your distributor? I'm mute.
What? She said I was mute. What I had to realize is that my motivation shouldn't lie with my distributors. That's number one. My motivation should not be reliant on if they show up or not. Your motivation is personal. It's like how is the business, how is your extra income, how is this business going to help you? You can't tie your motivation to them. You can inspire them by winning, and when you win, they'll come back if they're meant to come back. But your motivation should not be tied to whether they come or go. You got to keep going. Show them the win, and they'll come back if they're supposed to. But it shouldn't be tied to them.
I felt a little Bruno Mars in my spirit. It said, easy come, easy go. And then I felt a little Destiny Child in my spirit that said, now that you're out of my life, I'm so much better. Then I felt a little, wishing you the best, pray that you are blessed. I felt all of that. In that little moment. So that's why I said I need to mute, because in all honesty, I always tell people over and over again, I didn't start for you, I don't quit for you. If you have a real why, no one can deter you, just like a man that you shouldn't be with. You know what I'm talking about? Like, y'all know you got a man that you shouldn't be with, but you ain't nobody say nothing. Can't nobody tell me nothing. You know what I'm talking about? Bro, you been there. You know exactly what I'm talking about. I've been there. Okay, we all been there. Like that's what your business gotta be. Your business gotta be the man that can't nobody tell you nothing. Like, can't nobody tell, okay, and I'm going back. Like, and I'm going back, and I'm going back, because I didn't start for you. I didn't fall in love with this man for you. Like, you wasn't with us.
Yeah.
At the.
It's okay. Mm-hmm.
The school where we met class. Y'all know what I'm talking about? So that was good. Y'all know what I'm talking about though. Like you have to, so that was good. That was an excellent answer. And at the end of the day, your wins will inspire them. And if not, you were never meant to inspire them in the first place. So Robyn, anything else that you'd like to leave us with? So thank you for asking that too.
I would just encourage you all to have your Jesus time, because in that time, in that space, he's going to reveal everything that you're questioning, everything that you desire to have, you need, want, everything that your heart needs is there in that space. So I just want to encourage you guys to do that. That's like the most important thing, because once you do that, everything else will start to fall in place. Like it really will. So just that, and then your personal development, like it's so key. And just stay consistent. Stay consistent, y'all. Don't give up on yourself. Don't give up. Just keep going. Keep swimming.
Thank you. Congratulations. Woo, woo. Thank you for your time. Thank you for sharing your heart. Thank you for your transparency. We are excited to be a part and be able to witness this Ambassador Diamond journey along the way. And you touching so many lives. So go ahead and pray us out. And we are going to get up off of here. So good. Oh, so good. So encouraging. You have encouraged so many hearts tonight.
Oh, that's so good. So good. All right. Father God, we just come giving you glory, giving you praise, giving you honor for who you are, God. God, thank you for this space. Thank you for those that showed up to be filled, God. God, right now, I feel, God, I want to come against any discouragement. I want to come against any lack of confidence, any lack of worth, any insecurity that I can't do this. I'm not enough, God. God, show them that they're enough. Fill them up, God, in the spaces that you need to fill them up. God, you're a gap filler. You're a redeemer. You're a healer. You're a way maker, God. So, God, just fill them up right now in this space, God, so that they can go on with the audacity of your love and your grace and your mercy, that they can do all things through you, God. God, we just thank you for the things that you've already done, the things that you're doing within us. God, we're open for you to break us, to put us back together again so that we can be a blessing to your people. God, we just thank you. You're so good, God. Thank you for just allowing us to be in this business, to have this tool to make extra income for our families, God. Allow us to connect with the people that we need to connect with, not just for another box or another some more BV, but actually to show them you and to show them your love through us, God. So, God, we just thank you and we praise you in advance, and we give you all the glory and all the praise. Amen.
Amen.